Hello my beautiful fragrance family, Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification, and I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That $40-ish and $100 range, most of these are way less than that, and a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And I got one more classic for you guys here today. And to keep those classics coming, hopefully intermittently, so I can get some more of these milestones and stuff underway. But one I'm talking about today is 2006, and I'm talking about Burberry London. Known for its little felt thing. It's kind of glued in there. That's what keeps it on there from like sliding off. Otherwise this little fabric jacket would just slide right off. But it's different. I think it looks alright. The atomizer itself, about average atomizer. So this thing's old, like I said, 2006, so at the recording of this, it's 18 years old. So is this thing still relevant today? Because back in the day, this thing got a lot of love. Nobody really talks about it so much anymore, but I don't think it's quite forgotten about. So what you can expect out of this thing is like a warm, spicy, semi-sweet, touch of tobacco, oriental style fragrance. A lot of people compare it to CK1 Shock, and I can see the resemblance. I can see why they would compare it, because I feel like a lot of people that are comparing the two together are not very familiar with tobacco style fragrances. Whereas CK1 Shock, as a lot of people will say, and I completely agree, that it is a good fragrance to dip your toes in the tobacco game, but I also say that this one in particular is another good one to kind of dip your toes into the tobacco game, but the tobacco is not as loud in here. You can detect it, but it's not as loud. CK1 Shock, it's not like loud like Mancera Red Tobacco or something like that, but it is clearly detectable. This leans more on the spicy, the cinnamon, bergamot. The bergamot up top, when you first smell this thing, you get another spray of this thing. It is a crisp, juicy bergamot. It's not real tart, it's not real sour. You get all the crisp juiciness out of the bergamot. And then there's the cinnamon, a little bit of lavender. In the dry down, it gets a little bit more earthy and mossy and stuff like that. But this thing pretty much holds on to the cinnamon, juicy bergamot, touch of tobacco in the fragrance. There's also leather. It's a real smooth leather. It's not a dominant kind of a leather note. It's real smooth, almost like cashmere and stuff like that. So this fragrance, I think, is 100% classic. Also 100% timeless. It is super relevant still today. This I can easily see how could pull in, just rake in compliments, because it's one of those kind of the same way that Cream Spice and Black Vanilla uses the spices, is kind of the same way that this uses like the cinnamon and the little bit of warm spiciness that's going on in here. It's not quite as sweet as Cream Spice and Black Vanilla, but it does have a bit of sweetness to this. Like I said, it is a warm, spicy, juicy, sweet, bergamot kind of a fragrance. A little bit of leather and tobacco also in here. Everything else is kind of irrelevant except for in the dry down, and that's when you start to get a little more of the leather, some more of the oak moss. Longevity on this, it's about average. It's not like no kind of beast. It's not terrible in performance. It's a 5 to 6 hour fragrance. The projection is a bit reeled in. It might be marginally less than average, but not enough to like deduct any points or anything. It's right at the average in projection and performance and all that. I think any age can enjoy this thing. This is a cool weather fragrance. Great for the daytime, the nighttime, business. It's a very, very versatile fragrance in the cooler weather. This thing will work in almost every scenario. Dates to business meeting. It works really well because it's so likable. It's a very, very likable fragrance. This is a safe, bordering, dare I even say, safe blind buy if you want a cooler weather fragrance. The only thing is this one's more like $39, whereas most of the fragrances that I review are closer to like $20 and stuff like that. But this is, you'll find it all day long for like 39 bucks for a 3.4 ounce at any of your rack stores. So overall rating, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's a great, great scent profile. Can't go up or down for the performance or anything like that, but the scent profile alone is a 7, so it stays at that because of the performance. It's a classic. And Yeah, if you're looking for something that's not overly sweet, not overly spicy, this thing is kind of reserved on all that stuff. I just want to smell it again. I really enjoy this thing. Yeah, it's the juicy bergamot, warm cinnamon, little bit of lavender, that tobacco is there, just a little bit, just backing up all that stuff, just a little bit of that tobacco. It's a reserved tobacco. Like I said, a lot of the stuff in this thing is reserved. That's what makes it so easy and approachable and inviting. There's something very inviting about this fragrance. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Enjoyed by anybody. Cool weather fragrance. Still relevant today, and I think it will be relevant for days to come. So that's my final thoughts on Burberry's London. With that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always, and until next time.